Okay, so yesterday I saw Aquaman in cinemas, which is the latest installment in the DCEU. DC has it's a real ring. DCEU, and it's pretty good. I guess is the overall statement for it. It's not as good as Wonder Woman or anything, but it's a step in the right direction for the DCEU, and it's certainly a lot funner. So yeah, overall, the main problem I guess I have with the movie, it was just a little too convoluted. Its villains, it has two villains, is the issue, and Black Manta was a really interesting villain. He's not the main villain. King Orm is the main villain, and he just really wasn't like that. He didn't get a real motivation. He's just not an interesting villain. He's not fun to watch. He's just bland and boring with like no motivation. He's just the stupid cliche comic book villain, and I just really didn't like him. And Black Manta, he actually did have a great motivation. He had a brilliant motivation. Spoiler: the part where his father dies, if that's even a spoiler, is actually really emotional. It actually holds some emotion to it, and you really feel for him, and you can really get behind what he's doing with this. But he's not the main villain, and he's basically just there to set up for the sequel. Like he's meant to be the sequel villain. And the issue is, if you're gonna use something like to set up a sequel villain, then set up a sequel in a post credit scene or do like a minor reference to it somewhere. Don't make the setup a major part of the plot in the movie. It was too much. It didn't need to be there because it didn't actually time the actual plot that well. But yeah, just the scenes at Atlantis with King Orm were just really bland, in my opinion. Him just like talking to everyone. It's just really, really bland, and that's the problem because this movie's meant to be fun, and it is fun in the actual good parts of the movie, which is the adventure parts. So with Aquaman, Jason Momoa was really good as Aquaman. He was really good in Justice League. He was like one of my favorite parts of Justice League, and he does a really good job here. He brings a lot of fun to the character. But the adventure scenes were great. They were really fun. I wish the movie focused on them more. They go out for like a quest to get the trident, a magic trident, and it's like an Indiana Jones sort of quest. It's really fun. They do all these like puzzles and like secrets, and they do a lot of adventuring and fighting hidden ancient places. It's really cool. And the fight scene in Sicily, I'm pretty sure is where it is, on the rooftops. That was really great. That was gorgeous visuals there. That Sicily part was just amazing. The actual fight with Black Manta, which Black Manta's suit and how it works is really cool in the movie. And I wish we got to see more of it, but you know, it just didn't tie to the plot. So he just basically gets kicked out of the movie. He gets thrown right off a cliff out of the movie. But while he is in Sicily fighting, it's really cool. And the choreography is great. There was some really interesting like moves and all that. And as for Mera, she's really good in this movie too. She uses her water kinesis powers in really interesting ways in the movie. Basically, there's this one part in the Sicily scene where she destroys these wine glasses and uses the wine inside them to make like needles out of them to stab the enemy because they stay physical because she can just like control water. And it's just really, really cool. And the visuals in the film are gorgeous. James Wan's statement about not getting an award for the VFX, not getting a nomination, is just, it really does stand because the visuals are great. The CGI looks gorgeous. It's really pretty to look at. It's colourful. It does some really great world building with it because it looks like Atlantis. It looks like what Atlantis would look like. And even outside of Atlantis, even outside of Atlantis, the visuals are gorgeous. The cinematography is great. They do some really amazing shots in the movie. I think it is really great in that aspect. The trench sequences are really great too. James Wan showing his horror side in it. The trench ones are actually scary. They even fit in a jump scare actually on the trench sequence. And there's some really cool shots with that, especially with the red flare. It just really adds some there's black and red sequence in the lighting, and it looks really amazing. And the plot twist, they throw a plot twist which I guess works in theory. It's an interesting plot twist. It changes things up a bit. The actual part where like Aquaman gets to try himself, the monster, just like it's an okay sequence. And one part that I didn't like though is the final battle, and it's a big CGI like boom boom fight basically. And I don't really like this sort of fights. I like close quarter personal battles with the hero and the villain. And they do have that at the end of the final battle, but it's not personal enough because the villain hasn't got any depth to him. So there's like nothing really personal going on there. So the final battle doesn't have that much weight to it, and it just didn't get enough build up. And one thing that didn't get any build up, in my opinion, is like the Mera and Aquaman love thing. Like they like have a kind of relationship, I guess, because they kiss at the end in the final battle, which always happens. I'm kind of sick of that happening. I'm kind of sick that, of course, if there's a hero and then a female character gets featured in the film heavily, they just have to fall in love with something. But Aquaman and Mera are like more set up as friends, in my opinion. Like they always banter, I guess, and they just seem like they don't like each other. And the only way they establish and like each other is that they look at each other like they look at each other kind of romantically sometimes, and that's all you get. They just seem like they'd be friends, and I just do not support shipping them like that. But the film was fun in the grand scheme of things. If you want to have a fun time, it's fun, except in the Atlantis scenes, which kind of ruins it because they're not fun, and it's meant to be fun. But in the parts where it is fun, which is for the most of the movie, it's really good when it stands up like that. If you just want to have a fun time, then I'd recommend going to see it. I would more recommend going to see Spider-Verse though, because Spider-Verse is great. But I would give the movie a 6.5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, because it's pretty good, but it could have been better, but it is a step in the right direction. So that's all, I guess. Thank you for watching, and bye.